And my group and I will be explaining the rational choice theory and how it relates towards the Jeffrey Buford article, predicting differences in the perceived relevance of crimes, costs, and benefits in the test of rational choice theory. So, before relating the theory to the article, it's important to understand exactly what rational theory is. Rational choice theory is a theory that believes patterns of behaviors in society reflects the choices made by individuals as they try to maximize their benefits and minimize their costs. An example of rational choice making is voting. When voting, you usually take into consideration of all the policies and how it could affect you. So even if it doesn't help you choose who to vote for, it will help you choose who not to vote for. Which brings me to the main proposition. When individuals perceive greater cost than benefit, they will engage in criminal behavior. An example is being peer pressured into, underage drinking, for instance. You see, rational theory is simple and straightforward because it refers to the basic human nature. People behave as they do because performing their chosen action is beneficial to them. Now, the scope of rational choice theory is very narrow. While some officials or formal sanctions tend to have some influence on decisions to commit crime, they're relatively unimportant compared to informal sanctions such as family or peers. Which brings me to the conclusion that the logical consistency of the rational choice theory makes sense, because if crime wasn't beneficial, then what would be the point of committing it? Rational choice theory is a micro-level theory. It is believed that you as an individual can choose to make rational decisions, and there are punishments set towards those rational decisions. The rational choice theory makes several assumptions about human nature, one being completeness, which states all pairs of alternates can be compared to one another. Two being crime is thought out, which would state that all criminals weigh the benefits and the risk of committing a crime. And number three, transitivity, which states a criminal will usually always go with their first decision on a crime. There are three central concepts of rational choice theory. One being benefits. How much would the criminal benefit from this job? Two being cost. What is the risk taken? And three being formal and informal sanctions, with formal being the cops and courts and informal being family and friends.
Now on to the empirical part of rational choice theory. When talking about this theory, we must take into consideration the variables that factor into rational choice. Such factors that impacted the incorrigible individuals in this study include age, race, gender, and income, as well as impulsivity, race, and personal self-control. There are four hypotheses associated with rational choice theory in this study, and I'll present two of them. The first is that older individuals are more concerned with social costs as a result of committing a crime because they have more to lose than a younger person would, and because they are more socially bonded as they age. The second is that people who have previously engaged in a criminal behavior and suffered no legal apprehension are less likely to think about legal consequences when committing the crime again. What the study showed is that the older individuals observed were concerned about the social consequences of shoplifting and injuring others while drunk driving, showing their concern for other people, and also that they were less likely to shoplift. The experiential effect came into play in that the individuals of the study said that since they didn't get caught and suffered legal consequences the first time they shoplifted, that they wouldn't take that into consideration when deciding to shoplift again in the future. However, when it came to simple assault, students said they would consider the consequences if they were to get caught. So to wrap it all up, the hypotheses were pretty consistent with the study itself in showing that older people weigh the cost of an offense more than younger individuals because they have more to lose, and that previous offenders who weren't getting caught the first time will most likely not consider getting caught the second time. General support for our theory presented comes from studies of offenders such as violent offenders and burglars, whom were asked about their motives, methods, and targets while committing these crimes.